Hey everybody, Cody here with Expedition Academy, and the other day I was going over how to find hidden waterfalls, and before that I put a post up saying, was there any other classes or any information you guys would be curious in learning about? And I got some good answers, so I'm gonna go from the bottom here. I got, hopefully I figure out how to do this, right there. Chun, SAA, says how you plan a route would be nice. That's a good idea because there's a lot of factors in how many days you have for how far you should really want to go, and then how to work from going from the furthest spot to the closest spot towards home to really help you out, and then how to pick a route. So we can go over something like that. Next, macattack.jku should be also right there. Asks reading Forest Service road maps so one doesn't get lost. Talking about just maps in general, how to read the different types of roads, and then how to orient yourself using the terrain could be a good class. And then let's see, we have ZR2 or ZR_2 dope. Says maybe a series of vids on when the poop hits the fan, injuries, disabled vehicles getting lost. I really like that idea too, because your vehicle, you ever seen those shows where people get lost and then they end up finding the vehicle and then they end up finding the person somewhere else? So it's normally a really good idea to stay with your vehicle if you can, and then there's some ways to make yourself easier to be found. We can do one like that. What's about another one? Let's see. Dane Logan Hammond says spatial awareness, road hazards, predicting terrain risk, assessing terrain. Those are all really good ideas. So one time in that same waterfall trip, we were riding on roads where there was a lot of rock slides and a lot of trails being washed away. It was just at the time of the year they're opening everything back up. So there's a couple times I changed my location where I parked just because once I got out of the car, I looked, I'm like, man, everything on this hill could come down any second. Let me move to another spot. So that's a good point. Let's see. That one I'm going to skip. That one, I'm going to skip that one too. Circle_I_overland asked about basket weaving. My basket weaving skills are, I would say, average at best. So I don't know how good that would be. He has another question. What about how to air down tires? There's different ways to do it. I mean, I use a tool. Before that, I use a stick. And maybe we can talk about different air pressures, which are better or what are possible with the tire and rim combination you have. He's got another one, how to cook dehydrated food. I think you just put water in it. And then the last one he has is how to make an old-fashioned. I don't know how to do that, so maybe he can show me that one. Maybe I'll have you on and you can show us, because I don't know how to do that one. Okay. OHHH_him gave me a good tip the other day about finding support struts for my hood. Said, should talk about worst case scenario and self-recovery mindsets. That's a good idea. And that kind of falls along with what ZR2 Dope was talking about, in case shit hits the fan, what you want to do. That's another good answer, or another good question. IA Breen. I was talking about winch recoveries. Yeah, there's some good things about winch recoveries where some safety aspects, and then also some planning on what it might take to get someone out by just eyeballing it. Because sometimes it's not like the classes you can take where you just walk up and go, oh, that you just hook a line up to here, you put the winch in, and then you winch in and everything's fine. Sometimes you got to do a little thinking outside the box. And the next one, maybe, let's see. The real Gabe _M is talking about definitely how to get started with the things you might consider first. That's a good idea too. Some dudes talk about priorities, like what should you buy first? What's a good option to buy first when you're actually going out starting your exploration life? Because you don't have to buy all this cool wazoo stuff. It just makes your life a little easier, but you also can get started just out. You can go to the dealership and buy a 4-wheel drive truck, and you can get started tomorrow going out exploring. It just depends on the equipment you have, how far, and what you can do. But you can't start exploring right out the gate. What's this one? The Logistical Conclusion asked about off-roading with the fifth wheel. I mean, it's like hauling a trailer anywhere. Off-roading the fifth wheel, I would say probably could be a little scary. Or if you just do a trailer in general, I mean, it does. In the last trip we went out on, we had a family. They had a trailer and they killed it. But I credit that to the drivers. Let's see. Basics for newbies. That goes back to what the real Gabe was talking about. Some of the stuff that you need to start off with that's really helpful. Joshua Aurelio asked that one. That was a good one. Adventure Seeker, talking about field dressing to kill. So if you get out there and say, this is more towards the survival side, if you catch a rabbit or snake, anything like that, how to gut it and clean it. I actually kind of like that. That would be good. Troy Mafakin Winters asked how to plan logistics, fuel mileage, and range of vehicles. That's really, that's a good point, because when you do these long distance trips, I like going on these like multiple 300, 400, 500 mile trips. Fuel is a big factor. How do you plan out your route you're going to take? And one of the first steps you do is, once you determine the area you're going to travel in, you have to plot all the gas stations and your POIs. And then as you make your route, you got to see when you're going to have to go fuel up and things like that. So that's a good one. Let's see. Ryan Orner asked about food suggestions for camp dinners. I am probably the worst asked about food, because I either eat just a can of chili, or I buy those bag. The thing I've come really a big fan of is those big bag meals where you buy them at the frozen food section and they're all cooked. Everything's ready. You just got to put it in a skillet and heat it up. I'm a big fan of those. I would not consider myself an overland chef. There are a lot more people that are way more skilled than I am. I like to go the simplest and easiest route, just because that's the way I like to do it. That was some good suggestions. So stand by. I'm going to start, because for these classes, I need to take some notes, write some things down, make sure I give it and present it in an order that's understandable. I think one of the first ones I'm going to do is like how to plan a route, which will factor in some of the other ones about, how to plan for fuel. And then I'll see if I can work some of these together. Sounds good? As always, thanks for stopping by and watching. If you don't follow me on my other page, which is Expedition Academy, and my YouTube channel, which is Expedition Academy as well, please do. As always, be safe, be prepared, and if you see me, say hi. All right, bye, guys.